the heartland of Tamriel, Cyrodiil. The year is 195 into the Fourth Era. Cyrodiil, the imperial seat of all of Tamriel, still finds herself recovering from the devastating Great War that ended nearly 20 years ago. The imperial city, along with all of Tamriel, has been slowly changing since the day the Great War ended, and since the White Gold Concordat was signed. Whether outside or inside the walls of the imperial city, life in Cyrodiil is always fast-paced. The time since the Great War ended gave the illusion that there was peace throughout Tamriel. But that couldn't be farther from the truth, as each province, city, village, and town in Tamriel preferred to deal with the economic collapse from the war on their own terms. As if the citizens of Cyrodiil chose to ignore the events of the past and focus only on the future. And thus, life carried on. As if there was never an end divine. As if Hammerfell was never part of the Empire. As if there was never a war with the Aldmeri Dominion. But regardless of the false illusion of peace, life in the imperial capital of the Empire continued to flourish and grow as the citizens let the imperial councilmen and political leaders deal with such problems. And it just so happens that on one particular day, many of the Cyrodiilic political parties gather along with the Elder Council to discuss a topic that has been escalating since the Great War ended. The topic of Skyrim and her people. And so, our story begins. Many factions of Cyrodiil's political parties, including the Elder Council, gather in the Imperial throne room to wait for session to begin. Patiently waiting to discuss what Emperor Titus Mede II will decide next as the court awaits in anticipation. But as the rest of the council eagerly wait, another political party arrives.
Look who decided to show up.
Of course they did. Did you really think anything else?
Session will now begin.
Emperor Mede, our petition to deploy justiciars in Skyrim have gone unanswered for quite some time now. We humbly ask that you take our request into your consideration so that we can ensure that there are no continued violations of creed in the White Gold Concordat. After all, we only wish for a quick result for the situation in Skyrim.
Thank you for your concern, Master Emissary Arandil. But as I'm sure you know, Skyrim is in a lot of turmoil right now. High King Toreg is doing what he can, considering that he just inherited the throne. And I will not send additional resources into Skyrim knowing that it could fend off loyal citizens who are still loyal to the Empire.
Again, the Emperor is stalling. We should just deploy already and use the prison as cover.
Patience, Arcana. We will have our moment soon.
I understand your concern, Emperor Mede. But if I may remind you that the longer we prolong the situation in Skyrim, the more we risk others following suit.
Master Emissary Arandil speaks the truth. The Thalmor only wish for peace during these troubled times. If Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak continues onwards with his ideas, other Jarls of Skyrim may soon side with him. And that peace that we have worked so hard for will inherently be for nothing.
First Emissary Eluin is correct, Your Excellency. Shall you reconsider our offer to deploy our justiciars?
A long pause is held as all eyes fall upon Emperor Titus Mede II.
Shall I call a meeting with the Elder Council, my lord?
No, not yet. Either I save one half of Skyrim, or I doom the other half to oblivion. There is no simple choice in this matter, so my answer remains the same. I will not authorize additional resources to Skyrim at this time, whether Thalmor or legionnaires.
My lord, if I may. Perhaps we should consider the Thalmor request to deploy aid in Skyrim. After all, the situation in Skyrim is quite delicate, my lord.
I am well aware of the delicacy of the matter in Skyrim, Motier, and do not need a reminder of such. Do I make myself clear on this matter?
Yes, my lord, crystal clear.
Master Emissary Erandil, my decision remains the same. I cannot and will not authorize additional resources to Skyrim while there is still hopes for a peaceful resolve with the Nords. But let me be clear, if and when the time comes, when direct intervention is required, then we will have this discussion. But as of now, that day has not come.
Very well, Emperor Mead. The Thalmor will stand by and await further instructions from your council. But for the sake of peace and stability, I do hope that you reconsider our offer.
He is correct, Emperor Mead. Our justiciars can be very effective in the field, if given the opportunity. You'll see that we're more than capable of just maintaining presence in Skyrim.
I am well aware of the efficiency of your justiciars, First Emissary Eloin. And as I stated earlier, their services are not yet needed or required. Do we have an understanding?
Yes, Emperor Mead. We will notify and consult with our superiors back in Alinor at once.
He can only delay the inevitable for so long.
Agreed. Move a detachment of justiciars to the prison border at once. Our next phase of the plan will be put in motion soon enough.
Consider it done, Master Emissary Erandil.
As the session with the Thalmor concludes, the rest of the Elder Council look onto the departing guest with great anticipation. But even the Emperor knows that sooner or later, he will have to cave into the political pressures of the Elder Council. But not today. Legionnaires stationed at the border wait anxiously for orders from the Imperial city as they endure the harsh terrains of the Ural Mountains. But the terrain of the mountains are the least of their worries, as the Legionnaires also endure long periods of boredom and isolation. But located a short distance from the border in Skyrim lies a prison. A prison operated by the Thalmor. For the Thalmor stationed here have a unique way of passing time at this prison. It is the 10th day into the new year of 195, and these Thalmor are about to make a costly mistake due to their unique way of passing time.
What the? After him! Down! Fine. Let's do this. Hey, you filthy North! Hey!
And where do you think you're going, prisoner 201111?
That is not my name.
I'll admit, I didn't think you had the mental capacity to use those restoration spells. But your skill is limited. And those wounds look deep. You won't survive out here on your own like that. So I'll give you a choice. Return to the prison. And perhaps I'll forgive your little stunt here tonight and allow you to keep that pathetic and savage life of yours. Persist, and I can assure you that you will not survive the night. So what will it be, prisoner 201111?
I think you already know my answer, Warden. No longer will I be used as a tool for your enjoyment. If I am to die out here, I will have the satisfaction of dying a free man. And not as a prisoner of the Thalmor.
Tell me, prisoner 201111, do you still remember the last words your father uttered to you? Or have you already forgotten them? I was there, remember? Because your fate is about to become the same as his.
You haven't broken me yet, Warden. I remember those days well, along with my father's words.
This is Athuur Wolf-Song. Attra was a Thane of Eastmarch and veteran of the Great War. For Attra was considered a seasoned warrior from Windhelm, a Nord warrior known for taking down pockets of bandits and marauders on his own. But there was another responsibility, other than being a Thane of Eastmarch, that the bold Nord also had. And that responsibility was being a father to a young boy named Athuur Wolf-Song. Although born in Kensgrove, young Athuur was raised in Windhelm, and with his father being busy most of the time, meant that Athuur had to adapt to the world around him in his own way, which included learning how to smith at a young age from his uncle. And that uncle is named Wengel Warrenville, Windhelm's most proud blacksmith. Wengel is Uhtred's brother-in-law, as his sister died giving birth to Athuur many years ago. By the time Athuur was 7 years old, Wengel decided to take on his nephew as his apprentice. As a young boy, Athuur did not care much for the fort. He was too easily distracted by his imagination of learning the ways of battle. Just like any Nord his age would be, especially when your father is a well-respected Thane of Eastmarch. One day, Wengel noticed young Athuur was slacking more than usual as Uhtred happened to be in the area and approached the two.
Uhtred, we need to talk about your boy. This is the second time this week he's jammed a grindstone. He's too distracted and his heart just isn't in it.
I'm sorry, Wengel. I'll have a word with him later on.
But Dad, I don't want to work the forge all day. It gets so hot and so boring out here.
Not now, son. We will discuss your actions later.
Uhtred, look, I know things haven't been the same since my sister died, but he still has his father in his life, and needs you more now than ever. Also, he's been asking more about his mother lately. I'd figure some quality time together for you two would do some good.
Is that true, son? What is it you wanted to know about your mother?
Is it true that I am the reason that Mother is dead? That I killed her when I was born?
Son, of course not. There are things in life that are beyond our control, such as the fate of your mother.
What? I am the reason she is dead, right?
Uhtred looks upon his son's eyes as he sees what Engel meant by needing bonding time with his son. Seeing how vulnerable his son is in the world around him, as Uhtred remembered a promise he made to his dying wife the day Athuur was born. A promise to always be there for their son.
Come with me, son. Let us leave Uncle Engel to his forge for a few days.
Thanks, Dad.
The following day, Uhtred takes Athuur out hunting for the first time for some father and son bonding. Although young Athuur comes across as a bit nervous, he is excited to spend time with his dad outside the walls of Windhelm and experience the world around him.
A wolf is approaching, son. Make sure you control your breathing as you take aim. I'll be right here if you need me.
Whoa! I did it, Dad! What do I do now?
Grab your dagger, son. We aren't going to let this fur pelt go to waste.
But Dad, I don't know anything about skinning an animal. What if I make a mistake?
That's why we're here, son. The best mistakes are the ones you learn from. Go on, try.
Young Athuur does as his father instructs and takes his forged dagger in hand, cutting into the flesh and furs of his kill as Uhtred watches over him. And as Uhtred watches his son, it became clear to him that Athuur was no longer a little child that played in the streets with other children. That Athuur was slowly becoming a man before his father's eyes, a worthy Nord any father would be proud of. And so, as the days gone by, the father and son duo continue their journey together into the wilderness of Eastmarch, fine crafting Athuur's hunting skills as his skill grew with each passing day.
Hey Dad, we make a good team, you and me, right?
The best team, son. The best.
In the coming months, Uhtred began teaching his son in the ways of combat as he feared the great war with the Aldmeri Dominion would resume someday.
Focus on your form, son, and follow through.
Yes, Father.
As Uhtred watched his son grow, he remembers a lesson that his own father taught him. That life in Skyrim is harsh and short, that there is no telling what tomorrow will bring. But whatever the gods decide to throw at him, Uhtred knew that his son will at least be prepared for it. And whenever Athuur wasn't training, Uhtred would take some time for himself to collect his thoughts. For Athuur Wolf-Song thought of his deceased wife every day, some days more than others, knowing that his wife wanted to be a mother more than anything in the world, only to die during childbirth.
May you find peace with Mara's warm embrace, my love.
Hey Dad, I'm going to craft a new dagger at Uncle Engel's forge. I can make you one too if you want. What do you say?
No, son. I'm good for now. You go on ahead.
Dad, are you okay? What's wrong?
I'm fine, son. Just one of those days, I guess. You go on and craft your dagger. I'll be all right.
If you say so.
Young Athuur knew that on days like this, that his father would think of his mother. For Uhtred never remarried and knew that his main responsibility was to his son. Young Athuur would eventually find a balance in his life to where he became a decent apprentice. But the young Nord still wanted to do more in life, considering that his father is a Thane. Perhaps it could be a title that he too himself could attain someday. So young Athuur would double his efforts, always eager to go hunting with his father, wanting to learn all he can about life outside the walls of Windhelm. For these were the days that Athuur enjoyed the most, whenever he and his father would explore the lands of Skyrim together. And when Athuur looks upon his son, he would no longer see the child that once was, for he would see a proud Nord who is taught of the old Nordic pantheon just like him and his father before him. And so, young Athuur stayed true to his course, knowing that someday he will be a strong Nord just like his father, Athuur Wolf-Song. So as the weeks turned to months, the months would eventually turn to years. By the time Athuur was a teenager, he was already considered an expert hunter and an adept blacksmith. For Athuur was already hunting bears and well-versed in the arts of combat. And so Athuur watched before his own eyes as his son became a man, for he knew that the time was approaching when Athuur would actually have to fight someday, as talks of rebellion seemed like a reality for Skyrim with each passing day. And although Athuur was well trained in the ways of battle, he knew his son wasn't ready to kill and take a life, at least not yet.
Father, the guards say that Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak is going to form an army to take on the Altmarine Dominion once Skyrim has its independence. I think I might join them. What do you think?
You're almost a man now, son. You'll know what to do when the time is right.
Hey, we still make a good team, right?
The best, son. The best.
Athuur always kept himself busy. Whenever he wasn't training or hunting with his father, he would help out his uncle at the forge. But as time went on, Uncle Wendell eventually took on another apprentice to work alongside Athuur, a young Nord by the name Hermir Strongheart.
Help! My apron is stuck.
And as Athuur grew with age, so did his interest in the opposite sex.
Hey, do you need any help with that?
Oi, this is so embarrassing. But yes, if you could reach in that barrel and grab my apron, I'd gladly appreciate it, sir.
You don't have to call me, sir. The name's Athuur. Nice to meet you. Now, let's get your apron out of that barrel, shall we?
Thanks for your help. I'm Hermir Strongheart. Nice to meet you too, Athuur. As you can see, I'm new and have much to learn.
Don't worry about that. You'll get used to it. Uncle Oengel is one of the best blacksmiths throughout all of Skyrim.
Well then, I look forward to learning more. Thanks for your help, Athuur.
Hermir took a particular interest in Athuur from that moment onwards. Something about his nice personality and calming nature made the environment easier to work in. And so, the two Nords worked together forging weapons for the Jarl's army that was starting to assemble. And as they continued working together, they eventually began looking at one another differently. And before they knew it, the two Nords had fallen for each other. Such is the mind of two adolescent teen Nords. But whatever happiness that Athuur thought he had found would not last long. For there is a day that Athuur will never forget, a day that will always be stitched into his heart and soul forever. The day of the first of Sun's dawn, 4th 185, in Whiterun Hold. Every first of the month, Attra and Athuur would venture to the Talos shrines all over Skyrim to pray to their Nordic god Ysmir, the Nordic aspect of Talos. For this was something Athuur always looked forward to do with his father every month, as Athuur enjoyed seeing the variety that Skyrim had to offer. And the more he saw the land of Skyrim, the more determined he was to fight and keep it free from the Empire and the Altmarine Dominion.
Father, I made my decision. I'm going to join Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak's army. Do you think I'm ready?
Uhtred knows his son has been interested in warfare for some time now, knowing that he wishes to put all that he has learned in his combat training to actual use.
Killing a man or elf is not the same as killing an animal, son. It's not always glorious. It will make you a different person.
I'm sure it does, Father. But a Nord or any men should have the right to worship whoever they wish. It is a cause to fight for, and I believe Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak will succeed someday.
Just before Uhtred speaks, he notices that they aren't alone.
Look what we have here. Is there anything you filthy animals care to confess to?
Wedron is neutral ground. You have no right to detain us. If I were you, I'd leave now and tell your masters that free men can worship whoever they please.
You're talking to a justiciar of the Thalmor. If I had my way, you'd all be in rags. Now, you can either come with us, or we can put you down here like the animals that you are. So choose your next actions wisely.
Athuur, stay out of this. I'll deal with these elves.
But Father, I can fight.
I said stay back, son.
You fool! I'll make you pay for your life right in front of your boy. Kill them! Hey!
Athuur does as instructed as he watches his father take on the Thalmor patrol on his own, in order to witness his father's skill in battle.
You'll pay for this animal.
Beaten by an animal. I did not fight your kind in the war just for you to kidnap and throw us into one of your prisons. And I will not allow me or my son to be part of your prison mind-cleansing camps.
Wait, you're a soldier, just like me. I was only following orders. Please, I beg of you, show mercy.
No, elf. There is only one answer that your kind listens to. And that answer is death.
No! What's wrong, animal? Not so tough now. When will you Nords learn that you can't win?
You were supposed to apprehend them, not make a mockery out of us.
I know what I'm doing. This animal will pay for what he's done. And I'll start by making the animal watch while I beat the Talos worshipping snot out of his boy.
That's not what First Emissary Erendil ordered.
Please, not my son. Athuur, run, now.
But Father, I can't.
Get out of here, now.
Athuur hears his father's words as he knows he can't take on the Thalmor by himself. So the frightened Nord does as his father instructs and runs with all his might. But it will not be enough.
Fool, you're letting him escape.
Then go after him.
Have my agent's gun soft. Is that it? Perhaps I should just snap your neck now and end your pathetic and miserable little life.
Athuur, no.
Master Erendil, it was Agent Rulindil's fault. He let the child escape.
Agent Kalara is wrong. This was her own doing.
We're not supposed to be here. Clean up this mess at once. I'll deal with this Talos worshipping insect myself.
Uhtred looks on with fear as he summons every ounce of strength in his body to make sure his son has a chance to escape, leaving him with only one solution: to attack.
These beasts never learn. You ignorant mammoth, did you really think you could harm me? Pathetic.
No! Father, please, get up!
Perhaps I should make an example out of you right here in front of your son. That way, he would learn to obey your superiors.
Please, let my son go.
Begging now are we. I should kill him right in front of you for your disobedience. But I am a fair man, so I'll kill you instead. That way, your pathetic excuse of a son can be taught who his true superiors are.
Wait, please, don't kill my father. I beg of you.
Son, it's okay. Just survive, son. At all costs.
I grow tired of this pointless banter. Now die.
Father!
Agent Kalara, Agent Rulindil, bring me the offspring of the slain beast so that I may further inspect him.
Yes, sir.
You heard him. On your feet and step forward at once.
Athuur slowly rises to his feet as his heart begins to fill with hatred and sorrow, trying his very best to contain his tears as he looks at the faces of the elves who changed his life forever.
What do you wish for us to do with him, Master?
Have him sent to Pale Pass prison immediately for processing. Also, clean up this mess up. The Imperials can never know we were here. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Athuur stared into the tall Ultra's eyes as he wants nothing more than to take revenge upon the one who killed his father. But Athuur knew if he tried to retaliate now, that it would certainly mean his end, and his father's death would be in vain. So Athuur complied, vowing to take revenge. Someday. But Athuur was about to find out the hard way about life in Pale Pass prison. And learned, in the most harshest of ways. For Athuur struggled in his first few weeks in prison, learning firsthand that the Thalmor have set up illegal pit fights under the Empire's nose for years. And Athuur suffered tremendously at the hands of other prisoners. It were as if he were in a personalized version of Oblivion that was meant to test his limits of pain. Blooded, battered, and bruised, these were Athuur's early memories of the prison as he was too afraid to fight. Knowing that he needs to let go of his fears and rely on his training in order to survive, just like his father said to do so.
Prisoner 201111, you're not done yet. You keep fighting until I say so otherwise.
And so, although Athuur was pushed to his limits, he would keep to himself and do as he was told, knowing that one day he will make them pay for what they did to him and his father. The Thalmor kept an eye on this particular young Nord, realizing that he has a certain spark within him that could be useful to them someday. But for now, they let the young Nord survive within their prison. And at the end of the day, Athuur would return to his cell as he would try and gather his thoughts, trying his best to make sense of this cruel new world that he's been thrown into. But regardless of how hopeless the situation seemed, Athuur would not forget what his father has taught him, knowing that a part of his father will always echo inside him. And with his mind finally able to focus, Athuur vows to not let this place be the end of him. Knowing that if he does want revenge, that he will have to survive as his father said, no matter the cost. So Athuur did just that. And before Athuur knew it, he had killed his first opponent with his bare hands, a fellow Nord prisoner. As a few of the guards cheered him for his first kill, Athuur felt remorseful, realizing what his father meant on how killing changes you forever. But Athuur needed to survive, and from this point onwards, Athuur accepted the fact he needed to become a killer. Never to be the same, ever again.
Prisoner 201111, you've earned your rations for today. Keep it up and I might get you a book or two. I like to keep my subjects' minds entertained. So better get some rest. You'll need it, 201111.
If Athuur was going to survive, that meant that he needed to keep winning. And killing. And after 2 years, he had completely numbed himself to the thought of killing his own kind. For survive or die was the only life he knew. The more Athuur killed, the more lost he became. For these were Athuur's darkest years. But no matter how dark his days were, Athuur would not forget his vow for revenge, knowing that there will come a day when an opportunity presents itself. And when that opportunity comes, Athuur will be ready, no matter how long it takes. And that opportunity wouldn't come easy as Athuur continued to endure. For Athuur would endure for many years to come. And Athuur was now the top pit fighter. But throughout all his time at Pale Pass prison, no opportunity came. It was as if he'd forgotten his goal for revenge. But Athuur's hatred for the Thalmor has not been forgotten. But Athuur knew if he was ever going to escape this prison, that he would need to create that opportunity himself. For Athuur was sometimes rewarded for his victories in the pits, rewards that come in the form of books. And since Athuur was the top pit fighter, meant that he always had plenty to read. And one night, a thought came to him. For Athuur had finally found his opportunity.
Guard, I wish to speak to the warden.
And what makes you think that I care, animal?
Because you care about the coin you make on your next bet. Or should I just throw my next fight?
Fine.
Prisoner 201111, to what do I owe the honor to?
For my next reward, I want a basic restoration spell tome.
Is that right? Tell me, Prisoner 201111, why would a barbaric beast have such a need for something you can't even comprehend? You may as well ask to be the Archmage of the College of Winterhold.
Ah, what a fool!
Because if I can learn a restoration spell, I could be a much more effective fighter in the pits. Meaning I could win even more fights and put more coin in your pocket.
What an interesting idea you have there, 201111. I tell you what, win your next bout, and I may consider it. I've arranged something special just for you.
As you wish, Warden.
As the warden leaves, Athuur begins to put in motion his plan. A rather bold plan, but first, there is the matter of winning his next bout. For Athuur knew that the warden favored him as if he were her favorite pet, often making sure that he was taken care of as the top pit fighter. For that was how he was going to exploit a weakness and create his opportunity that he's waited so long for. The Thalmor gods place their bets as there seems to be more activity than usual. The gates close as Athuur for the first time sees an opponent who is not a Nord.
I'm afraid I have to kill you in order to earn my freedom. Nothing personal.
Is that what they told you, Argonian?
Vision?
Well done, 201111. Now kill him.
I will not kill him.
Excuse me, 201111. I gave you an order.
No.
You're sparing me. Why?
Because I am tired of killing.
Is that right? We'll see about that, prisoner 201111.
Bring me back to my cell. I'm done here.
After Athuur's victory in the pits, he laid there, wondering how long he's been at Pale Pass prison. For Athuur had lost sense of time many years ago, feeling completely abandoned by the gods. But the gods had not forgotten about him just yet.
Courtesy if the warden animal. Try not to kill yourself.
Athuur wasted no time as he dives right into the restoration spell tome for the first time. For Athuur had no idea how to channel his energy into magicka. It was a field of study completely unknown to him, which fueled his determination to understand the arcane arts even further as he begins to regain hope once more. Something that he didn't realize he had lost until now. In the next few days, Athuur tries to create a restoration spell over and over again, but to no avail. Even though the gods mocked him, he did not give up. For Athuur knew, if he was going to escape this prison, that this was going to be the only way. But one day, Attra had finally achieved his goal of creating a restoration spell. Attra now had everything he needed to create his opportunity to escape. For now, the only thing he needed was an audience with the warden once more. So Athuur waited patiently, as he knows they will be planning his next fight soon. And that's when Athuur will attempt his escape.
Animal, you've been summoned by the warden. You have a fight scheduled in 1 hour. Better not disappoint.
We aren't going to the pits first.
No, Animal, we aren't. Now come with me.
Athuur follows the guard's orders as he suspects something is going on. As Athuur walked through the prison, it would appear the gods favored him on this day. For not only is the warden's office closer to the prison entrance, but fewer guards are on duty too. Meaning that most of the guards are already at the pits, waiting for the fights to begin. For Athuur's opportunity had finally come.
Prisoner 201111, you're here. Good.
That is not my name.
Unshackle him and leave us. The animal knows his place.
As you wish, Warden.
Now that I've got your attention, I think there's something that we need to discuss.
And that is?
Your extended stay at this prison. Tonight will be your last night with us. Unfortunately, you're being transferred to Northwatch Keep in the west.
Guess I've outlived my usefulness to the Thalmor. Such a pity.
Defend to the very end. I wouldn't expect anything less from the animal that you are.
Is that why I'm being transferred? Not happy with my performance?
On the contrary, you've been an effective tool for us with killing your own kind. And with hardly no effort from us whatsoever.
One day, Warden, mark my words. You will pay for all the lives lost here. You and the rest of the Thalmor.
Is that right, Prisoner 201111? By who? You? Don't make me laugh. You're only alive right now because I've allowed it. Never forget that, Prisoner 201111.
You can bask in your glory all you wish, but it seems there is one other thing you've allowed. One I'm actually thankful for.
Really? Please do tell. This I got to hear.
My freedom.
You fool. You'll never escape.
Watch me.
Kill him!
Whoa! 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 Yeah! Yeah!
What the?
Tell me, Prisoner 201111, do you still remember the last words your father echoed to you? Or have you already forgotten them? I was there, remember? Because your fate is about to become the same as his.
You haven't broken me yet, Warden. I remember those days well, along with my father's words. Survive. At all costs. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, Warden. Survive.
Shall we go around and cut him off?
No. Leave him to the wilderness. He'll be dead by morning. Also, see that this mess is cleaned up immediately. The Imperials from the border will be here shortly to investigate. Make sure that there is nothing here to investigate.
As you wish, Warden.
Goodbye, Warden.
And so, the prisoner formerly known as Prisoner 201111 makes his decision. The decision to survive. For the next 24 hours we'll test Athuur Wolf-Song. And Skyrim may not be the same as he remembered it all those years ago.